On this week's episode, the roof is repaired and ready to go. We attach furring to the ceiling, run electrical, and we even start framing out the bathroom and building out the kitchen. So let's get started on this week's episode of the Van Build series. So we've got the carcass of the kitchen in here. We just wanted to get the feel for the size in here. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough and show you what we're going to be doing in here. So sink's going to go in the middle. He's doing a farmhouse sink similar to our van. If you've seen our van tour, on this side is going to be a drawer at the top with a cabinet with a couple of pull-out drawers for a pantry. And then on this side, we're going to have his fridge down below. And he actually has the Dometic top-loading fridge. So it's kind of like a cooler fridge. So that's actually going to slide all the way out here, and he'll be able to open up the top of that and get into his fridge. And then above that will just be storage. He's just doing a camp stove similar to us. It's really nice to keep the countertop space available in your van. A lot of van lifers put in a built-in stovetop, but realistically, you're only using the stove maybe once, if you really cook a lot, twice per day. So we just like keeping that countertop space open because realistically you're probably going to use it for about 30 minutes or less in a day. And to just keep this all countertop with a sink in the middle, to us seems a little bit more functional. So this is the kitchen. It's actually a really deep kitchen. Reason being is because he has that big Dometic fridge. So we want to be able to have room for that and still have a bunch of storage in here for him. Next up, we got wires all over the place in here. Next up is his bathroom. His bathroom is massive. I'm so excited about this. He has the 170 extended, so it gives us about 14 inches of extra space compared to our van. So his bathroom is about 5 inches bigger than ours, which is really amazing. So he's going to have a toilet over here on this side with the shower head on this side, so he'll be able to step in here, the doorway will be here, and he'd be in his bathroom right here. So pretty cool. We're really excited about how big it is. He's gonna have a lot of room in there. On this side, we're gonna have some drawers and storage. We're making this countertop a lot more narrow so that there's still plenty of room to walk through here. So I would be fine just standing where I am. We're gonna have a control panel up here, so that's why all these wires are running over here. And then in the back would be his bed. And we're actually elevating it slightly. It's not gonna be a full-time bed. We're gonna elevate it 17 inches, have a platform so that he can slide his mountain bike underneath his bed. And then we're still doing the table with benches convertible into his bed. So pretty cool. So we won't have uppers in the back. We'll have upper cabinets here. Like I said, storage here. Kitchen, bathroom, and then upper cabinets above the kitchen. So pretty exciting to really get the feel for the space now that we've got some stuff in here.
So what we are doing is getting our initial furring strips in place. This is not what we're actually going to be putting the ceiling material connecting it to. This is what we're going to be attaching the final furring strip to. So these support ribs are what holds up the ceiling, and as you can see, the roof, he actually had some damage here, so we had to go take it to our body guy to go and have his roof fixed because he had that roof damage we've been talking about. So what we're doing now is we're using construction adhesive, heavy-duty construction adhesive, and stainless steel screws to attach these initial pine furring strips. And then as you can see back here, this is just a placeholder I'm using for now, but this is poplar 1x3, and this is what's going to be the final furring strip that we're going to attach into the side of these ribs, and we're going to use these furring strips right here to attach into the side of these furring strips for extra stability as well. So this final furring strip is what we're actually going to be nailing his ceiling into. So that's why we want to make sure that this is going to be really durable, because we want to make sure that when we put his ceiling up that it doesn't fall down on him. Today we are wrapping up putting the furring strips on the ceiling. So again, these poplar furring strips are what we're actually going to be attaching our ceiling into using a nail gun. Another thing that you want to do before you get too far in your build is start to run your wiring. So today I've been working on our 12 volt. So that's 16 all-wheel gauge, 16 gauge wire. And so we just ordered this off of Amazon, and what's really nice about this is that it's coated, so it's protected, but then it also is black and red. So it's really easy to see that your hot wire is your red and your common is going to be your black. So with this, I have ran this everywhere after making my electrical diagram, so I know where all of my switches are going to be. For example, my 12-volt panel is going to be over here in an upper cabinet, so I'm running anything that's going to my 12-volt fuse box over to this location and then running from here. So for example, this right here is going to be a light in our bathroom. So this is running from the 12-volt fuse panel over here, and then this is going to drop down into the wall where it's going to hit a light switch, and then it's going to come back up off of that and go to the actual light that's going to be right here. So a lot of this other stuff, this is just the main line for like our lights right here. So the overhead lights, this is a drop down loop so that I can cut in his puck lights that are going to be going right here. So obviously got his vent fan, so I'm going to be connecting this to the vent fan. So just really running all of this before I get too crazy so that I know all of this is in place and then I can work around it. One thing that is kind of a pain is then you have all these wires hanging everywhere. So I do zip tie them, always label everything. I use painter's tape and write on it with a Sharpie marker. But you deal with it while you're working, and then it's really nice because then once you start to get the finishing touches on, then you've already got your electrical right there, and you can just finish up your electrical by putting on your fixtures, features, whatever you want to call them. We always get a lot of questions about why we use steel studs, and with steel studs, I feel like there's a little bit more versatility in how you can build with them versus using traditional studs for framing out in a van. So for example, a really important thing that we do, sprinters are not the same width at the bottom as they are at the ceiling. And so because it comes in, if we were just to drop a straight beam, straight post like this, all the way down from the ceiling to the floor at the back edge of his bathroom, he would lose so much. He'd lose about 8 inches in his overall bathroom space, which for a guy like me with big shoulders, right there, I just lose all of my shoulder room. So with these steel studs, what you can actually do is you can cut them on the sides to put a bend in the steel stud without losing the structural integrity. So what that allows me to do is to start at the bottom here, I do a cut here to fold it in to make a bend, and then a cut here to fold it in. So I'm using the 3 longest, straightest parts of the wall to actually design and build his bathroom out to maximize how much room he has in here, especially when he's standing and moving around, because you see this cut is pretty much right at shoulder height. So that's a really great thing that you can use with steel studs for in order to build as much space as you can in your vertical walls. We've talked about this before, but the screws that we use to secure these steel studs to each other, it's a self-tapping screw that you can find at Home Depot. Steel studs are also stronger and lighter weight than a traditional 2x4 stud. Another great thing about it is you can run electrical and you can run plumbing through them instead of having to like drill holes in like a 2x4.
That is it for this week's episode. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next week, next Thursday. Have a good weekend. Bye.